Hello and welcome to your online math course. My name is Mr. Radom. I'll be your math teacher. And in this little video that I put together here, I'm just going to go through some of the things you need to know to get started in your course and have a successful startup. You might have some questions even after you've gone through and watched the video, so feel free to email me at any time if you have any questions. But let's get started and then we'll go through some of the resources that you have available to you and how you can access your help and your learning resources.
So the website that you'll use to access all your resources is www.thssmath.com. And then after you've gone to that website, you'll see one of the tabs here is Online Math. So clicking on Online Math will take you to a page that has a few links here. So there's a couple of online teachers, Mr. Payan and then myself, Mr. Radom. So I'll show you my schedule here. So click on this here. A schedule comes up. I use an online classroom site called Collaborate. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But basically, anytime you'd like for me to help you online, just send me an email, jeff_radom@sd42.ca, and then we'll set up a time where it both works for us to get help. So basically, I'm more or less available 24/7. Send me an email. I might not be able to reply to it right away, especially if you send it at 2 in the morning. Yeah, whenever it works out for both of us to log in, I'll give you a hand. Now, sometimes you might want to get help face-to-face. I normally work out at Thomas Haney Secondary School in Maple Ridge, and I'm down in the Math Grade Hall, which is a general work area for students, high school students. So if you're also a high school student and you can make it to Thomas Haney, then I can help you there. If you're an adult student, I have some face-to-face times, but if you send me an email, I can tell you some of those blocks that I'm able to help you. But if you're a high school student, these are the days and the times. So basically all day on Tuesday, 8:45 till noon, 12:30 to 2:30. Same thing on Wednesdays. And on Thursdays, 8:45 to 10:50, 12:30 to 1:30. Now this will depend on, this is what I'm available this year. But if you're watching this video, make sure you check the schedule because it might be different depending on what year this is that you're watching this video. So that's the schedule. You can email me anytime for online help and then see me in the Great Hall if you want to get face-to-face help. So what does that Collaborate classroom look like? Well, that's right here. So let's say you wanted some help online. You shot me an email. This is where you would go to get help online. Click on my link, not Mr. Payan's. It'll ask you if you have the required software. So if you've already got that, like I do, then I'm just going to click Start the Session. I've got to keep something down here, and I've got to open this meeting up. And it just takes a second here to load. Okay, and this is what the online classroom would look like. So there's me in there, but your name would pop up there too. Down here there's a chat room, so you can type some message like I need help with page 56, number 3. Boom, shows up here so that I know that you need help with that. There's a talk button here. You can click on this, and now you're talking live there. So if you have a headset, we can talk back and forth. Once you're done talking, you need to unclick that because only one person can talk at a time. So we can talk back and forth. You can use the chat window, and then this whiteboard here is for me to help you with your work. So if you're stuck on page 56, I'll be doodling away on the screen here, blah, 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 helping you with page 56, number 3, and you're also hearing me talk. So kind of like being face to face, but that's how we can get help wherever you are on the planet. So that's what we can use to get help with your math stuff. So this link is live all the time, so it wouldn't actually hurt for you to go and click on this link even after you've done watching this video, and just make sure it works. If the link doesn't work for you, then you can click on this one here, configure the collaborate, and this takes you to a support site here. So there's some FAQs, frequently asked questions, and you can actually contact some technical support, and they can help you if you're having any problems with the Blackboard Collaborate. There's another good resource here called Learn Now BC for getting help. There's tutoring and study centers. So there's tutors that can help you online too, practice quizzes, instructional videos. There's some math learning resources and some homework help links. So you can check those out. That you may find that useful. So yeah, basically I can help you anytime online. This is the way that I would do that. Just send me an email when you want to do that, and then I'll respond to you, get back to you. All right, you're taking Calculus 12. So we could click here, or you could click up here at the Calculus 12 tab, and that'll take us to the Calculus 12 resource page. So at the top there's some suggested completion dates. There is an option to be able to do the AP Calculus exam. If you're interested in that, maybe send me an email and let me know that you're interested in taking the Advanced Placement Calculus exam. Otherwise, there's just the regular Calculus 12 course. These links here are only going to be good, like they're just suggested completion dates. They're only good if you're starting right at the beginning of September and planning on finishing in June. So if you're not, then those links are not going to be particularly useful at all. But you should have your own suggested completion dates depending on when you're starting the course and finishing the course. This next one is the learning guides. Okay, these are all your assignments for the course. So if you click on this, you'll see that all of the assignments are located there. And the first one is actually the marks. We call it the marks record sheet. It's like your course outline. Okay, so it has all of the topics that we're doing in the course. The course has 20 learning guides. And the first learning guide we're going to actually omit. It's a pre-calculus thing. So you'll actually start on learning guide 2-3. There's really nothing that important in learning guide 1 on the pre-calc. So let's just start on learning guide 2-3, limits and continuity. So you'll do the learning guide 2-3. I'll show you learning guide 2-3 in a sec, and then you'll just write. It's called a unit test here, but it's just going to be a test on learning guide 2-3 because we're not doing learning guide 1. So you'll do learning guide 2-3, and you'll write a learning guide 2-3 quiz, and then I'll make that the mark for learning guides 1-4, and then we'll move on to learning guide 5-6. Here we'll do a quiz. 7-8 we'll do a quiz. 9 we'll do a unit test, so there'll be a test on these again. Then 10-11 quiz, unit test. Now if, let's say back here on 9, let's say you did the 5-6 quiz and the 7-8 quiz and you had an average of 75%, but on learning guide 9 you practiced this stuff some more and you got 85 on this, then I will give you 85 as a mark for this entire unit. Otherwise it'll just count as the learning guide 9. And all of these learning guides are all weighted the same. Okay, except for the final exam, it's worth 25%. So learning guide 20, the final, 25%, or if on the final exam you do better than the average of all the stuff that you've done, I'll make the final exam your mark for the entire course. All right, so this is the course outline. And then, so yeah, Learning Guide 1 we're going to skip. So let's move right on to Learning Guide 2, 3. That's going to be your first assignment right here. It's on limits and continuity. Now, a Learning Guide will have an introduction. Here we go. And it'll have some expectations. Okay, so these are all the things we're going to learn in Learning Guide 2, 3. And then here, evaluation, it tells you what's going to happen. I said there will not be a quiz for these learning guides, rather the unit test, Learning Guide 4. We're just going to write that one test. The quiz will actually be on this stuff, but it'll actually count for Learning Guide 1 to 4. So tells you the resources that you need. You need the Calculus 12 text and this website. I'll talk about the text in a second. So for these first 5 expectations, in order to learn how to do these 5 things, here's a video. You can watch that video. Then here's some pages to read in the textbook. And here's some notes that you should be making. Okay, so we call it a journal. It's like your math notes. So define what a limit is. Just answer these questions as completely as you can in your set of notes. And then here's some questions to do, 1 to 16. Now, this textbook is great because it has lots and lots of questions in it, which is a good thing. But I do not expect you to do all of the questions assigned. That would be a lot of work and a lot of time. I do expect you to know how to do 1 to 16, but if things are rolling along really well, then feel free to skip a few questions. Some students decide to just do the odds, and they save the evens for a review. But just so you know, you're not going to hand in all of your assignments to me. That's just your practice, and every student is going to do a different number of questions depending on what they need to do how many they need to do to actually learn the material. All right, and then you can see expectation 6, 7 is here. There's a video to watch, some pages to read, some notes to make, some questions to practice. And then Learning Guide 8, same thing, video, some pages to read through. In these pages there'll be examples to work through in the book. Work through those things, make some notes, do some practice. Watch a video, read and work through some examples in the textbook, make some notes, do some questions. Okay, so once you have done these and you feel like, hey, I'm ready for the test, then you will send me an email and say, I'm ready. I think I know how to do Learning Guide 2, 3. Now, we have some options for where to do the tests. You can come to Thomas Haney. We have a test center at our school, and you can come anytime from 8:45 until 2:30. So that's option 1. Option 2 is you could go to Riverside Center, and I can email a teacher over there who will have the test ready for you when you come, and you can do the tests at Riverside. Or option 3, if you're a high school student at another school, if there's an adult in the building who is able to supervise you, then let me know who that person is, and you can I can email them the test, and you can write it there at your home school. And if that doesn't work, send me an email and we can try to find something else that works for you. Okay, so yeah, so these are all the assignments. You don't hand the assignments in, you don't hand the work in to me. You do as many questions as you need to do to understand it, and then when you're done, let me know. So here's the textbook. It's a PDF of it, and when you click on that, it's going to ask for a login and a password. Mine jumps straight to here because I've already entered it in the past. But the login, here we go. When it asks for the login is capital THSS, all capitals. And when it asks for the password, that is lowercase math. And so far I just have the chapter 2 on here, but I will I'll get more chapters on there as people progress through the course. All right, so that's there's your text. And there's also solutions to the textbook. So clicking on this link, okay, takes, so let's say I was working on chapter 4, log and exponential functions. I could click on here. Oh, it's still loading. I could click on this one here, chapter 4, and it would take me right down to chapter 4. So you don't have to scroll through, all the pages to get to page 99. There we go. Now it should work. There's chapter 4. So there's exercise set 4.1. These are complete worked out solutions, all right? So you can see there's several steps in here. Everything is all worked out. So you might find this quite helpful in checking your answers as you're going through and doing your questions. And they're all in there. All the odds and the evens, okay? So that's a useful thing. The solutions to the textbook. There's some practice tests here. There's a test bank. Here's chapter 1 stuff, and there's some answers in there. I actually find that this is not a fantastic resource. There's actually quite a few errors in this. I would suggest, instead of doing these practice tests, that you really just focus on the questions from the textbooks. So like I say, if you did the odds and you want some more practice, go and do the evens. There's more than enough questions in the textbook to keep you busy. What to know for tests. If you click here, they'll tell you exactly what you need to know. So say you were doing the 7-8 test. You click on here. I tell you how many questions there are. I tell you what the test is out of. I tell you some topics that you need to know. Here are the 6 things that you better be able to do on that test. All right. And then this AP Resources would only be useful if you're going to write the advanced placement exam, and only when we actually start preparing. You start preparing for that AP exam. So I think that's everything you need to get going. I know that was a lot of information, but there's your learning guides. That's all your assignments. You don't hand your homework in to me. You do as many questions as you like. You make sure you're checking your work so you know you're doing it right. There's your textbook. There's the answers to the textbook. And if you need any help, again, or if you have any questions about how the course works, feel free to email me anytime. So yeah, I look forward to working with you, and all the best in your calculus course.